If you don't understand graphs, you're going to have a hard time during software engineering interviews. But the good news is you only need to understand a few things about how graphs work for coding interviews. A graph holds two kinds of features, nodes or vertices, and a way to represent connections between these nodes called edges. A common way to represent edges in a graph is by using adjacency lists which exist on each of the nodes on a graph. An adjacency list is a list of all the neighboring nodes that this particular node is connected to. The most common thing you're probably going to be doing for software engineering interviews when it comes to using graphs is traversing graphs. And you can use a breadth-first search or a depth-first search algorithm to traverse a graph. And when you're traversing a graph, you have to make sure you're using a secondary data structure to keep track of all the nodes that you've already visited so you don't accidentally revisit those nodes and get stuck in a loop. A common data structure to keep track of the nodes that you've already visited is a set. So that in your breadth-first search traversal of the graph, you first check the visited set to see if you've already visited this node, and if so, you skip. Otherwise, you add this node to the visited set and then visit it. A graph, quite simply, is used to represent networks of things of all kinds. For example, your social media networks. The edges of a graph can also be weighted to represent how strongly two nodes in a graph are connected, and therefore, graphs are also very, very useful when you're building recommendation engines.